All right, in this video, we're going to do a deep dive on how vector graphics actually work and why they can scale to any size without ever losing quality. So let's get into it. So first, the basics. Unlike a normal photo, a vector graphic isn't made of pixels. Instead, it's made of points, lines, curves, and shapes, all based on mathematical formulas. And that's why the computer can rebuild it at any size without losing quality. And a quick history lesson, vectors aren't some new thing. They were actually some of the very first computer graphics back in the 1960s and 70s when early computers used vector displays. Even the old arcade game Asteroids from 1979 was drawn with vectors. But eventually screens switched over to pixels, which is why most of what you look at today is raster. And if you want a video on the difference between vector and raster, I've done one as well, and I'll link it down below. But so vectors never really went away because as design moved into a world of countless screen sizes and print formats, that ability to scale to anything without losing quality became essential. So they're more relevant now than ever. How does a vector actually work? Let's open one up. At the heart of every vector are anchor points. Think of an anchor point as a dot pinned to an exact spot on a grid defined by its coordinates. On its own, it doesn't do much, but when you connect two anchor points, you get a path. And paths are what everything in a vector is built from. String enough of those together and you can draw any shape. And that's how you get squares, triangles, anything with straight edges, really. But of course, most artwork is full of curves, of smooth curves. And this is the clever part about a vector, because each anchor point can also have control handles. If you've ever used a pen tool to draw a curve and drag those little handles to bend it, that's exactly it. The handles tell the curve which way to lean and how hard to bend. And these are called bezier curves. And the magic is that the computer doesn't store the curve as a bunch of dots. Instead, it stores the anchor points and the handles, and then calculates a perfectly smooth curve between them at whatever size you're viewing. So it's always mathematically perfect and never pixelated. And that's the whole reason vectors scale forever. When you resize one, you're not stretching a fixed image. You're just feeding the computer the same mathematical instructions at a different size, and the computer redraws the whole thing from scratch. A bit like how a video game can render the same scene at any resolution because it's working from instructions, not from a flat picture. Bigger or smaller, the matte just gets recalculated and it comes out crisp every time. Then you can also give your shapes color. And there are two parts to that. The fill is the color inside a shape and the stroke is the outline around it. You can set each one separately. Now the obvious question. If vectors scale forever and have tiny file sizes, why isn't everything a vector? And this is where it comes down to detail. So vectors are built from lines and shapes, but they can't capture the pixel by pixel detail of a photograph, where there are millions of tiny color variations that just can't be described as clean shapes. So vectors are perfect for logos, icons, illustrations, and type, but not for photorealistic images. And if you try to convert a detailed photo into a vector, the computer has to guess at all those shapes and it ends up looking flat and a bit off. If you want to make vectors yourself, the main tools are Adobe Illustrator, Figma, Affinity Designer, or the free one, Inkscape. So that's how vectors work. Anchor points pinned by coordinates, paths connecting them, busy curves bending smoothly with control handles, and the whole thing stored as math that the computer redraws at any size. That's why your logo will look perfect whether it's tiny on a business card or massive on a building. And that's it. If there are any other topics that you want me to cover, simply leave them in the comments down below. And I'll see you in the next one.